Hey there, Don Wilson here, and welcome back to the next case study on physical products. Now, I'm going to talk to you about scalable designs. This one, I do a lot of stuff that's state-based. I'm going to get right into it, and I do a lot of stuff that's multi-interest based. My favorite ways to scale are by interest, by location, and by budget. Okay, so if I can throw a lot of money at it and scale it up really fast, that's great. If I can do a little less money and do it on a state level, and take the same design and get it to work over and over and over, that's great. If that's where there's an interest and I can broaden it up to other really good interests, and especially if I can do it with a combo like that, that's really, really good as well. So I'm going to show you kind of what we did inside of these campaigns. Some of them we scaled, and I'll show you how I scaled them. A lot of these, pretty much all of these scale at a state level, and you're going to see how we made tons and tons of money, several thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars in sales. And we were growing our pages massively with these scalable methods, all right? So this one was called This New Jersey Girl Loves Her Country Music, okay? We did this for people that lived in Jersey. We did this for people that lived in New York, Michigan, Florida, and a lot of different places. And it worked very, very well. It scaled in a lot of different places. And this one payout right here, I think was like $1,800 or $1,900 just for this one shirt. Okay, so we ran it for about, I think, 5 days or so. As you can see, this is at the time we're making this video, it's only 6 days old. I like to give you everything as soon as it kind of comes out. So when you see this, it'll probably be even older, and there will be new case studies even further in the laboratory. But check this out. I'm just going to show you exactly what we did to make this work very, very well. We got about $1,800 or $1,900 in payouts. Lifetime spent on this is $921.85. So we made about $1,000. Then we scaled it to a bunch of different states. Some of them were bigger, some of them were smaller, so some made more money, some made less. But basically, we made a ton of money off just this one design. All we had to do was go in and change out the actual state name, say New York, and then picture of New York. And then it's the exact same interest in everything, an ad copy. It's just a different state name. Right? So here's what we did. Let me just show you all of them, because we had to scale this a couple different ways. And no, I didn't set each one up to an individual interest. I do that on like digital campaigns, but if I'm doing something where I'm scaling to a state level, I gotta have to have a lot of interest to make sure I've got the right size audience. Now, I said before, the best type of audience on this, in like the last case study, if we're doing state levels or we're doing marriage demographics or whatever, is to get anywhere from 200 to 400,000. Now, state level, I'll do anywhere from 110,000 or 100,000 all the way up to 500,000 or 600,000, because I can go from one state to another state to another state. Now, if I can get a lot and still keep it passionate, that's good. So I started out, we did, where was it? I started out here, and I went Academy of Country Music, Hank Williams, Great American Country, Vince Gill, Garth Brooks, Randy Travis. Basically what I did was I started by putting in Country Music Association, and that gave me a decent sized audience. And then I went after a few different other artists and brands that weren't huge country music singers. And we started there. It did very, very well for us. We got 985 clicks. We're paying 30 cents per click. But the audience was really, really good. It was the most dialed in audience I had. We had 116,000 people. Location was New Jersey. It said, live in New Jersey, love country, this is a must have. Live in New York, love country, this is a must have. Live in New York, love fishing, this is a must have. Live in New York, love hockey, this is a must have. And then you just change it from sport or from interest, from state to state. And this is how we do pretty much all of our ad campaigns with states, is we ask the question that we know the answer is yes to. I live in state, and the answer is obviously yes. And then love country, well, they have that as an interest. The answer is obviously yes. Then this is a must have. We don't have to tell them to click. We don't have to fancy up our ad copy. This works on most of the areas. So we found it was working and getting positive ROI. So I said, all right, we know we can scale this from one state to the next. That's good. But can we make this one work a lot better so that once we do scale it to all those other states, we know exactly what audience to use right out the gate and then maximize it for the most ROI possible. So we did, is I checked out my click-through rates and I checked out by running some other tests. But basically, I took 116,000 people and I added a bunch of other people that were the exact same size audience and same type of country music singers. Okay, so I was like, all right, if it works for this, it should work for these other people. So I added a bunch of interest, and I moved it from 116,000 people to 200,000 people. And we were checking our sales every day. All right, we were looking at money in, that day versus money out in sales. And as long as it was staying at the same positive ROI amount, we kept it going. So we added a bunch more people in here. We were able to scale to 340,000 people in my interest. This is just Jersey. It's not the biggest state out there. It's not going to be New York. It's not Cali. Those states have a lot more people in them. So these type of interests will scale even further in those bigger states. So basically what I did was I was like, okay, let's test it with a small group here, small amount of ad budget. Let's see if it really works. And once it did, I was like, all right, I know I can move it from state to state, which we did. We put this in a ton of different states and made a ton of money. But I also brought in the audience up on the first tester, which was Jersey here, so that whenever I can move all the stuff over to the new test, I would have the exact right audience in advance. So sorry about that pop-up storage is getting full here. But as you can see, this is a system. We start with the long tail interest that we've got, and we brought it up to more and more mainstream interest as we go. We get closer and closer to like general broad country music. Now, if I use general broad country music, the click-through rates probably would have been a lot lower, price would have been higher, and margin would have been lower. But I could have scaled almost to that niche too. But you see, we started down here, long tail, and it broadened up as we went and found improving the ROI. And it's the same way that we did it in all these other case studies that you're going to see here as well. So Michigan Girl right here. Here's another one. This is Michigan Girl Loves Pit Bulls. You'll see that we went to tons of different states with this one as well. Exact same type of thing. Live in Michigan, question mark. Love pit bulls, question mark. This is a must-have. Here's the ad. All right. It was location, Michigan, United States, age 18 and older, gender, female, interest, American Pit Bull, and Parolease. Like I told you before, I want to have as big an audience as I can get, and I need to have about 200,000 people in that audience to make it worth it. Now, Michigan has got a little bit different population than other states out there. I put this in like 20 or 30 states within a day. Made tons of cash on this actual scalable design right here, because some of them, if they were a really big state, I wouldn't use pit bull as the interest. It would be American Pit Bull Terrier and just pit bulls and Parolease. Those would be my entire interest, and I couldn't scale all the way to pit bulls. This one, these people aren't marketed to as much, so I can get a little bit cheaper clicks on this type of thing. So I was scaling to pit bulls because I needed to broaden my audience up enough to where it was big enough to get some cheaper clicks. So I hope that makes sense. You've seen that we scale these campaigns by state level. This campaign made us tons of money just by going in, finding an interest that worked, proving it in one state, and then moving it from state to state to state. It worked the same thing when we did it for country music, worked the same way we did it for pit bulls. Here's another Jersey one that we did, another 154 sales. We did this in like 20 or 30 states within just a few days. Made tons of people. We were adding 16,000 fans a day for free to our pages. We've scaled this to fishing, scaled this to tons of different niches out there. It just plain works. Go out there, look for long tail interest, look for something that's location based, and as you prove it, scale for as many interests as you can get there through artists, brands, and as broad of an interest as you can go. So thanks for watching this case study, and I'll see you in the next one.